Let's talk about one aspect of energy policy. You've been very active and outspoken on the Marcellus Shale issue and prodding them to follow best practices. Where do you see that going? And what are the prospects for new federal legislation or regulatory actions?
I think there'll be two basic places where there'll be activity. One is at the state level. Obviously, we'll have to see what Governor-elect Corbett does and his team, as well as the General Assembly. I certainly can't predict that, but I think a lot of the regulatory activity, the continuing debate about whether or not there should be a severance tax or some way to derive revenue, which I think there should be. I can't think of another, probably in recent American history, where you extract a resource out of the ground and you don't have to pay for it as a private sector company. But in terms of federal legislation, I've tried to concentrate on three areas. One is to make sure on something as basic as an emergency that we have in place. That's where my bill, the acronym is FASTER, the FASTER Act, to be able to react more quickly to a blowout or an explosion. And we just don't have enough in place in terms of notifying emergency management folks, notifying the federal government or local or state government, and then having capable, experienced personnel on the ground at a site. That's one bill. The second bill is on job training. I think we have tremendous potential, and we're already realizing it, to create lots of jobs, but we want to create jobs for Pennsylvanians, not just for folks in Oklahoma or from Oklahoma or Texas or other places. So not just working with community colleges and others, but really making it an essential part of our strategy to have job training in this, in the skills needed in the Marcellus Shale region to have those jobs in place. And then the third area, of course, is on the bill. I have the fracturing bill, which is basically two elements to it. One is disclosure and one is regulation. On disclosure, I think we're going to make progress in terms of either enactment of legislation or other changes, but we're also going to get a lot of cooperation. We're seeing companies that are saying, we know we have to disclose the list of chemicals and provide a lot of public disclosure. The tougher issue, and where there'll be a lot more conflict, will be on regulation. I think we should have a national standard and have regulation of that fracturing process, and I think it can be done in a reasonable way, not to adversely impact companies to the extent that they can't create jobs and continue to develop a new industry.